Hey everyone, I am Peter from Top Think, and today we are going to learn about 12 big differences between rich and poor people. Now, let's begin. Number 1. Think long term. To achieve lasting success, you should learn how to transition your goals from short term to long term. When thinking in the short term, you are focused entirely on your immediate responsibilities, like paying your bills, updating your resume, or spending time with friends. Unsuccessful people don't bother to set goals that are more than a few weeks or a month away, because these big picture objectives never really feel possible. The truth is that failing to think long term might actually be the only thing standing in your way. Many of the wealthiest people got where they are today by simply chasing a long-term goal. These faraway goals gave them something to work for and dream about. Even if that future is years and years away, you should set your own specific, long-term goals and slowly chip away at them every single day. Over time, you'll get closer and closer to what once seemed like an impossible dream until finally you're there. So next time you're daydreaming about your own success, figure out how you can turn that fantasy into real life. Number 2, don't fear change. Take a moment to ask yourself what part of your future is most important to you. Is it being happy, feeling challenged, or maybe it's becoming stable? While stability can certainly help you lead a low-stress life, many people fail to achieve lasting success because they stop pushing. They find a nice balance between work and fun, so they become complacent. And if that makes you happy, then by all means stick with it. Just don't be surprised if your dreams of becoming successful start passing you by. If success is more important to you than stability, then you're like many of the most successful people who are constantly looking for ways to change their lives for the better. Even if the changes end up being negative, successful people would rather things go wrong than stay exactly the same. If something doesn't go your way, you're at least given an opportunity to learn and grow from it. Number 3, bet on yourself. When you start taking big risks, it's critical that you learn how to believe in your own potential. Imagine you stumbled into a job that you're not qualified for. If you somehow end up nailing it, it could jumpstart your whole career and help you achieve your long-term goals. But if you mess it up, it could ruin your reputation completely. Do you back out, or do you go for it? Most unsuccessful people would back out because they're betting on the likelihood that they fail. Simply knowing they don't have all the necessary requirements is often enough to scare people into giving up. But successful people wouldn't see it that way. They'd see this as a rare opportunity to prove that you deserve to be successful, whether you're technically qualified or not. This is especially relevant in the modern era because just about any skill can be learned over the internet. Instead of betting on your own failure, make use of the many resources you have available and give yourself the chance to rise to the challenge. Of course, for this to work, confidence is key. You have to genuinely believe that you will do a great job, or else you'll fail just like you thought you would. Number 4, delay gratification. Highly successful people know the sweetest rewards in life take years and years of exhausting work, long nights, and consistent sacrifice to obtain. This often varies depending on your long-term goals, but nearly every form of success requires you to give up short-term gratification in exchange for long-term benefits. Say you've finished your work for the day and were planning to spend the rest of the night doing research for a small startup you're trying to get going. Just then, you get a call from your friend who invites you to a party. Should you go to the party and put your goals on hold, or should you be productive and prioritize your research? You're probably going to run into plenty of situations just like this in the future. It may be hard to continuously make these sacrifices, but successful people know how essential it is to delay gratification and choose the option that will help the most in the long run. Number 5. Don't do it alone. Unsuccessful people spend way too much time trying to become self-made, which basically means they became successful all on their own. While ambition and self-confidence are definitely important, you won't be able to climb to the top on your own. To get there, you'll need other talented people to help you, just like they'll need you to help them. By trying to do everything on your own, you'll end up spreading yourself so thin that you become unmotivated and unproductive. So instead of taking on the world alone, cooperate with other people whose talents make up for your weaknesses. Number 6. Money is important. No matter what field you're in, if you want to be successful, money does matter. While your happiness or purpose in life doesn't have to revolve around your annual salary, career success does require that you make money and build your net worth. You've probably heard someone claim that money isn't important. They might only try to earn enough to get by, letting opportunities slip away because having a lot of money doesn't fit their definition of success. The biggest problem with this lifestyle isn't that they aren't earning more money, it's that they've stopped trying to grow themselves. Money can and should be used like a tool in life, which will allow you to build towards your dreams. You might say that money is evil or worthless, and you might be right. But the reality is that you're going to have a hard time achieving success by rejecting the tools you need to get there. Number 7. Intrinsic drive. Another common difference between successful people and unsuccessful people is where their motivation comes from. To become successful, you can't rely on praise or positive feedback from other people to keep you going. If you do, you won't develop the kind of intrinsic drive to keep pushing when things get tough. Instead, work on being happy about your accomplishments without anybody ever hearing about it. Successful people achieve their goals in order to live up to their own standards, not just to impress other people. Number 8. Learn to persevere. The path to success is always filled with obstacles, some big, some small, and some downright terrifying. No matter who you are, you're going to run into trouble eventually, so you can't let yourself fall apart when that happens. Unfortunately, dreams often get thrown out the window when things get hard, because it's much easier to give up than face the challenge head on. If you do run into one of these obstacles, there are plenty of ways to handle it without throwing in the towel. Oftentimes, you can do this by removing yourself from the situation and shifting your point of view, so spend a couple days being productive elsewhere. You should also take that time to remember why your goals are so important to you. That way, when you do face the obstacle again, you can tackle it with a clear head and fresh motivation. Number 9. Please yourself. How many times have you found yourself adjusting your own behavior to help other people get what they want? For most people, the answer is often, because they've made a habit of compromising their own needs to avoid disappointing the people around them. Successful people will tell you, however, that pleasing yourself is far more important, but you have to come to terms with the fact that you're going to let some people down along the way. Some people may call that selfish, but you should live and die by your own needs, wants, and expectations, not anybody else's. Number 10. Meet productive people. Successful individuals are often surrounded by people who are just as motivated, ambitious, and goal-oriented as they are. When you're just getting started, it's especially important to surround yourself with like-minded people because you'll need their support. All too often, people end up just spinning their wheels because toxic friendships and relationships are weighing them down. But how do you expect to stay motivated and work hard when your closest friends want you to do the opposite? So look for other people who want to be successful, then find ways to help build each other up. Number 11. Ignore IQ. While unsuccessful people like to attribute success to increased intelligence or higher education, some of the wealthiest people, many of whom started their careers with nothing, insist that advantages like having a high IQ doesn't mean that someone is going to be successful. Instead, they say the most important trait is an unstoppable work ethic. While very few people have this kind of hard-working mentality, it's something anyone can develop, just like success is something anyone can achieve. Number 12. Try to delegate. When working towards their long-term goals, many unsuccessful people try to control every little thing that happens to make sure that nothing ever goes wrong. This control freak mindset might seem beneficial, but it can actually set you back tremendously because there's just no possible way you can give everything your full attention. To solve this problem, you should learn how to delegate and trust other people to get their jobs done. That way, when you do run into problems, which you inevitably will, you can focus on solving them without the entire system coming to a crashing halt. Thank you for watching Top Think, and be sure to subscribe because more incredible content is on the way.